All right. Woo! It's time to get in. We're looking at the current state of Boom. As usual, it's Harkle here, and I've been working hard, pushing the packet on social media on Solana, and I think we've got a reasonably compelling offering coming up. Man, it's been a long road to decentralization of social, and for the longest time, as a little bit of backstory, I've been building out boom.army for a while. It's on Solana. It's all integrated into Solana. And social media it's a huge nut to crack, and everyone is sort of saying, wow, why isn't there social media on Solana? Why isn't there a Solana specific social media platform? And it's what I've been trying to build for a long time, and you can see here, this is the current iteration of it. It's it's a progressive web application. It's just me building it. My design skills aren't that fantastic. I've been doing this while I've been working full time as well, so it's been going slowly, but we've still got a great community here. But the big dream for the longest time has been, how do we decentralize? How do we actually take social media and decentralize it properly, so that people own their own content, so that they they can lift and shift their account wherever they want. No one can shut them down. They can say what they want and not be censored. And ultimately they can transact freely as well. So, we've got a lot of that here, but it is a centralized database. So, people are trusting me to administer this at the moment. But now, as of this week, Boom has shifted to, well, we've got a Mastodon instance now, so an activity pub instance. So I don't want to make this too technical. I want to make it more about decentralization of social on Solana and what that means, and walk through the client that we've got here. So you can see here, this is my development environment, and this is the new client that isn't launched yet, but is coming to Boom very, very, very shortly. So I'll just show you what the plan is here. Here we've got essentially a state of how things are going to work. So Boom Army feed is this site here. This is the current implementation of Boom, and it's got a centralized Postgres database that contains all of the data, and it has Solana integration. So we've got NFT profiles here. You can view people's NFTs in their accounts here. People can set these profile NFTs as their profile pictures if they own them, and it's a basic social media offering. What we're moving to, though, is the structure here, where we've got the Mastodon, Boom-hosted Mastodon instance. It's hosted on our own bare metal infrastructure, and that's at social.boom.army. So you get a full Mastodon experience there, where there's thousands of Mastodon instances. The thing that I'm going to demo today is the boom.army client, which is what I've been building in the background, which essentially hooks into Mastodon, and it hooks into the social.boom.army Mastodon instance. But ultimately, anyone who has a Mastodon account on any Mastodon instance can use the boom.army client, and that's where the integration with Solana is going to happen. So all of this good stuff with your account here is going to be available eventually is going to be available on boom.army. It's still got to be built out, but I've made a huge amount of progress with the client just to get it up and running so that it's actually a Twitter competitor. And it's and essentially the way I've done that is to fork open source software. So we're standing on the shoulders of giants in that regard. And so that client will hook into the Mastodon instance that I'm running, and you'll have an account when you sign up, which is essentially the name or handle that you choose at social.boom.army, and then that will work on any Mastodon instance. So there's a little bit of technical stuff to wrap people's head around, but ultimately, all we have to worry about today is just that there is a sign-up process for this, and it all revolves around your email, and that's going to enable some really cool things to happen with Solana integration at a later stage. Now, the big opportunity here is that all of these Mastodon instances, they use this technology called ActivityPub. And it's the same technology that Threads was built on, that Zuck just launched Threads, the Instagram social competitor, on. And it's an open protocol. It's got federated content, which basically just means that the content is pushed out to all of the servers that run this ActivityPub software. There's millions of users on this ActivityPub technology, millions of users, and there's a huge opportunity there with that community to bring Solana to them in a seamless way, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, I think. But ultimately, this is going to be the new structure of Boom, and I'm going to be leveraging all of these good things that people have been a ton of people, an army of developers have spent years building. So yeah, it's going to be good. I think we're heading in the right direction. Everything in a startup is about pivoting and moving to where you think the opportunity is, and I think this is the opportunity here in terms of having federated data and people owning their own accounts. And I think I've banged on about decentralization for 2 years since I started Boom, and now today we're here. We've got a decentralized social instance that runs specifically for Solana, and people can jump on it. So let's dive in. Let's dive into the client. There's the old one. I'll just close that down. So what we're looking at here is this is the Boom client. So in terms of this boom.army client here, this is what I'm talking about here. So it's currently on my local host where I've been developing, and you can see the Boom logo there, decentralized social media for Solana blockchain. And then the other instance is this social.boom.army platform, which is here. Now this is a different look and feel, but essentially this is the standard Mastodon instance. It's being hosted on that server that Boom runs, like I said, and it connects into ActivityPub. And then if we go to mastodon.social, then you can see the Mastodon. This is the Mastodon instance that they host, right? So it looks and feels exactly the same as the one that we host, but it's hosted in a completely different area. But these two servers communicate with each other, and that's where you get the federation from. So this content here goes to this server here, and vice versa. So a lot of the content that's on this server gets posted back to Boom as well, and so you get this federated view. But I think this is, the interface here is great. It's pretty good, but it's not awesome. And it's actually, in terms of Twitter and Threads and things like that, the real power is in conversations. So that's where this Boom client comes in. So you can see there's a whole bunch of features here. We've got, really nice visually separated original posts and a whole bunch of stuff that you can dig into at your leisure. But ultimately what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log in. So when you come to boom.army, you're going to hit the login button, and it's just going to, this instance thing can be a little bit confusing for new people, but essentially you don't need to worry too much about that, because if you don't have an account, you just create one, and then it'll take you to auth here. Let's just log out here. And yeah, so if you create an account here, it'll take you to the sign up section, and you just have to accept that, and then it's a basic, very slim form to sign up, and that'll create an account for you on social.boom.army. Now, once you've created that account, I'm just going to go and sign into mine. I'll log in here because I've already got an account, obviously. Once you've created that and you're signed in, then you can use that social.boom.army instance domain, this one here, and you can log into the client. Now, just remember, this is the client here. This is the server that is running the client. And if I hit login, it's going to redirect me now to that social.boom.army instance. And it's just going to say it needs access to my account so that the client can post. I'm going to authorize that. It's going to fire me back to the client, the Boom client, and then you can start to see here it's a lot different in terms of look and feel. So you can see that this is the local timeline for the people that I follow. If we go up here, my home, it's much nicer in terms of, it's got threads and things like that. So it's a lot more like Twitter or Discord or Reddit, where people are threading content. You've got likes and boosts and things like that. And it's pretty slick. There's tons of features in here. So let's go through and I'll show you the federated content, the local content, and then, the home content. So this is obviously the home content where it's my posts and the people that I'm following on, not only on Boom Social, but on Mastodon or any other instance that exists. And then we've got the local view, which is just posts from all of the people on social.boom.army. So that's that's this instance here, the Boom hosted Mastodon instance, and essentially you can see the posts that are here. There's threads as well. There's a lot of me at the moment. And then if we go to the federated view, this is where we're pulling posts from all of the activity pub servers. So the data syncs both ways here. There should be an arrow going the other way there. And you can start to see that there is a huge amount of content, all sorts of people, all sorts of languages, all sorts of votes, and things like that. You can hide posts here in terms of sensitive content. It's pretty awesome. So what we've actually got here is a real competitor for social media on Twitter, and this is all going to be hosted on boom.army, and over the next couple of months before Breakpoint, I'm just going to be pushing as hard as I can to promote this service to get as many people on here as possible, and really just get social going. It's such a hard game getting social going. People want to have decentralized social. People want to see a Solana native social product that's successful. We've got some awesome stuff that has been delivered, like Gum is fun. There's Gum, and there's Say Dialect, and a bunch of other stuff, but no one's really kind of cracked it yet. And I think decentralization and owning your own content is still a really, really big deal. But it's got to be easy, right? It's got to be a better experience than the current incumbent experience on Twitter. And I think there's other things like Nostr that have been launched that are having a crack at it as well. And I think a lot of people in the Bitcoin community are a lot more focused on decentralized social than they are in the Solana community. But I think once this client gets up and running, once we integrate Solana with it, And once people can do things like zero knowledge payments and tips, we're really going to start to have a powerful offering. The other thing that's worth mentioning is all of this stuff is going to be open source. So at the moment, if you go down this Boom client here, which is forked from an awesome client called Fampy, is sitting in the Boom repository as Pampy, and you can go in there and look at the source code. All of the Mastodon source code as well is open source, and everything that Boom is going to be delivering in the next 3 to 6 months and beyond is going to be open source as well. There's no sense in having a decentralized social platform without having all of the code open source. And the fact that this Boom client here it's forked from this Fampy client, but ultimately looks and feels very customized, and Boom is hosting this, or will be hosting this on our own instance. We control all of the code. We control the Mastodon server, and then that syncs in and federates with the larger activity pub feed. So yeah, big things, big changes, really. I mean, this whole system of Postgres before, and the old Boom Army feed, moving to this new structure. I think there's so much more benefit. Just the fact that we can plug Solana into millions and millions of users on ActivityPub. I think that's going to be a really big deal. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep it reasonably short and sweet. I don't want to push these things. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos over the next few days and weeks. I really just want to keep on pushing into what Boom's delivering. I'm going to try and get into a bunch of spaces as well, so that people can ask questions, and we can really talk through what's happening on Boom, on social, on Solana, on decentralized social, on all that sort of stuff. It's going to be great. This is being recorded to YouTube as well, so if you're tuning in later, just good to have you here. And I see you there, Cody. Sofix in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. I think the future on Mastodon for Solana is really bright. So I'm going to sign out here in the broadcast, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.